Welcome to OnScreen English with Steve Marshall. Lesson 18 is on asking questions. Here are some questions and answers. Number 1 is a yes-no question. Do you like Korean food? In this question, do is acting as an auxiliary verb. So you answer, yes I do, no I don't. Question 2 is an information question. When did you arrive in Canada? The answer is, I arrived last week. In this question, arrive is the main verb, and you use the main verb arrive in the answer. I arrived last week. Okay, I'm going to explain the form for asking questions in English. Let's look at number 1, the yes-no question. Do you like Korean food? It begins with do, an auxiliary verb. Next is the subject you, then the main verb in infinitive form, like. Do you like Korean food? And number 2, the information question. When did you arrive in Canada? It begins with the question word when. Next we have did, a form of the auxiliary verb do. Next is the subject, you. And then the main verb arrive in the infinitive form. 3. Auxiliary verb questions. May I leave now? Will you help me? Have you got the time? May, will, and have are auxiliary verbs. I and you are subjects. And leave, help, and got are the main verbs in the infinitive form. 4. Tag questions. You eat fish, don't you? This is an affirmative phrase. You eat fish, followed by the negative tag, don't you? You don't eat fish, do you? This is a negative phrase. You don't eat fish, followed by the affirmative tag, do you? Notice the change in order for subject and verb. In the phrase, the subject comes before the verb. You eat and you don't eat. In the tag, the verb comes before the subject. Don't you and do you. Here's a tag question with an auxiliary verb. You've done your homework, haven't you? In this case, have is repeated in the tag. And a to be question. You're Chinese, aren't you? In this case, you repeat the verb to be in the tag. Aren't you? 5. Indirect questions. Let's look first at the direct questions. What do you think? The information question. Am I right? The yes-no question. Both are in the regular question form. Do you? And am I? For the indirect questions, you need to use a different form. Subject plus verb. I'd like to know what you think. Could you tell me if I'm right? For the task, read each instruction, then write a question after it. The question type is stated in brackets. For number 1, ask your friend's age with an information question. 2. Ask your friend if they speak Korean, yes-no question. 3. Ask your friend if they enjoyed the meal, tag question. And number 4, ask your friend when they woke up this morning, indirect question. Here are the answers. 1. How old are you? 2. Can you or do you speak Korean? 3. You enjoyed the meal, didn't you? If you think they enjoyed it. Or, you didn't enjoy the meal, did you? If you think they didn't enjoy it. 4. I was wondering what time you woke up this morning. Now for the summary. There are 5 question types we've looked at. Yes, no, information, auxiliary verb, tag, and indirect questions. The different question types require changes to sentence structure, word order, and verbs. Here are 5 examples for a review. Do you like Korean food? Yes, no question. When did you come to Canada? Information question. May I leave now? Am I allowed to leave now? Auxiliary verb and to be questions. You've done your homework, haven't you? Tag question. I'd like to know what you think. Indirect question. Thank you, that's all for now. To see the next video in this series, OnScreen English, Lesson 19, Zero Conditional, please click on the link.